Hello world of YouTube and welcome to part 2 of my 9 Nails discography review. This is part 2, the 2000s. If you missed part 1, click the door fedora. It is a magical motherfucking fedora that'll take you to where you need to go. In this part, I'm going to be covering the albums Things Fall Apart, With Teeth, Year Zero Remixed, Ghosts 1 through 4, and The Slip. If you're wondering why this, if you noticed my shirt yesterday, this is a different shirt. I think I'm wearing a different hat than yesterday. Last night, after I filmed part 1, a lot of shit happened that led me to not do part 2 until now. But I am ready still to do it. Why don't we go ahead and get started, though. Now, the first thing he released in the 2000s was a remix album called Things Falling Apart, which was a remix of The Fragile. And I'm not a big fan of this remix album. It has, like, parts of songs that I dig. Like on the Frail remix that's on here, I dig the strings and I dig the way they alter the strings. I dig the Gary Newman cover, and I dig 10 Miles High, but other than that, it's a lot of just mediocrity in terms of remixes. This is definitely my least favorite release of the whole band's career, not just of studio work or remix albums. This is my least favorite overall. Some of the songs are just too dancey. Some of them blend, like the Starfuckers Incorporated mixes. Both of them mix the vocals oddly. They both use different types of sounds that just make it sound really odd. The second one, the last track of the album, just ends, and I really didn't like that at all, because that was the end of the album, and it was just weird. The Slipping Away remix is pretty good. Trent remixed that song. That's the only remix he's touched on this album, and it bothered me. Like, the thing as a whole bothered me. The composition of the mixes, the way they were ordered, it felt like to me that it was trying to replicate what the Further Down the Spiral did by continuing what I felt continued that sound, that style. Like how, to me, the Further Down the Spiral was this extension of that album. I think this was trying to go for that vibe, and it failed miserably. This remix in specific, I mean, half of it is stuff, and then the other half is just drone, and it just doesn't sound good to me. I don't really like the way that it's composed. I just really don't like a lot about this. I guess my favorite remix would be the Frail Ben-Ali mix, and that's still, I mean, that's just because the strings on it are really well done. I'm kind of bummed that this release wasn't that good, but yeah. Let's go to a really good album, shall we? And the next album he released was called With Teeth, and that was released back in 2005. And the reason why there was that huge break between Things Falling Apart, which, even though it was a remix album, came out in 2000, and still had his work on it, and now is because Trent was getting clean. And there's that whole philosophy that people sound worse when they're clean. Trent, definitely not one of those guys. Trent fucking kills on this album. This is a tie for my second favorite album by 9 Nails. It is Pretty Hate Machine, then Downward Spiral, and With Teeth. Both of these albums are just so fucking good. There's a shit ton of just aggression just put through a different prism. Like, You Know What You Are, and Getting Smaller, and the Bridge of Sunspots. There's that same aggression you love from Trent, it's just a little bit different. There's those really depressing moments, like Every Day Is Exactly the Same, and All the Love in the World. There's this kind of romantic song with Beside You in Time. It just fucking kills. This album is a stellar piece of work. I think a majority of the drums on some of the songs were done by Dave Grohl, which enhances that awesomeness, because you guys know I love Dave Grohl, I love Foo Fighters, yeah. I love every single second of this album. It is just stellar. It is a stellar piece of work. The composition of the noises, the way they're placed, the drones on songs like Beside You in Time, and kind of Right Where It Belongs. There's some simplistic work that just works really well together. Like With Teeth is kind of like that, and Only. And this album is just a stellar piece of work. I love just everything about it. It's so fucking good. My favorite song on the album is actually Sunspots, because I love the passion that Trent has and the variety of stuff he does vocally, because he does normal, he does falsetto, he does his scream, and I think if I were a Nine Inch Nails fan, it would have been great to hear him come back like this. I mean, oh my god, this album is fantastic. It's the most streamlined Nine Inch Nails album, sound-wise, and it's also the most crisp. It just sounds so fucking good. Yeah, my favorite song is Sunspots. Now, the next album he released was called Year Zero, and it was released back in 2007, and the amount of promotion that went to this album, the amount of thought Trent put into this album is crazy. He built this whole universe around it with, involving politics and the government just being this over-controlling machine, and it really envelops you in this universe, and, you know, it tells stories in some of the songs that really delve into that anti-political theme that he really delivers on this album. This was a huge change for Trent. Like, he had always kind of delved into anti-religion and stuff, but I think politics wasn't really a big forefront on his agenda, and this is the first album to really attack that, and, you know, like, capital G, you know, kind of saying that the president sometimes treats himself like God, and stuff like the Great Destroyer and the Good Soldier kind of developing around this war-torn theme, and the Great Destroyer representing the president, who is this omnipotent force that just destroys everything, and there's a variety of just interesting sounds from this, and I feel like electronically he was trying to do the same that he did back on Pretty Hate Machine with this album, when he was trying to incorporate the style of the time, even more so than the previous releases on this record. Like, there's songs like Capital G and even The Greater Good, which sound very, with that time. Like, this kind of sounds like a hip-hop track, The Greater Good, and Capital G kind of has that same kind of hip-hoppy vibe, and, not that it sounds bad, it was one of the reasons I used to hate this album, but after, you know, really analyzing this album, I fell in love with that style of it, the reason why it's like that, and, I mean, it feels like this redheaded stepchild of all of his albums, but it fucking rocks. I mean, there's a variety of pacing and just, it comes out of the gate with that hyperpower. Those drums are fucking intense, which I'll talk more about on the remix album. But, I mean, you get this collage of just interesting songs by Nine Inch Nails. My favorite song on the album is probably Survivalism. Either Survivalism or The Great Destroyer. This will forever be known as the discography review that was really hard to film. While watching the footage and editing it, I forgot to review this album, Year Zero Remix, which was put out in 2007. And this is actually my favorite remix album, so I'm kind of surprised I didn't talk about it. This was one of my introductions to Saul Williams, who I fucking love now. I'm a huge Saul Williams fan, and it reinterprets these songs really well. Like, you have this version of Meet Your Master, which focuses on that poppy chorus and makes it like this dance tune. It is really cool. It has an acoustic version of The Great Destroyer, which is really, really cool, and even the vocals are different on that. You have a lot of different collaborators on this remix. In fact, I don't think Trent touches any of these albums, or any of these songs and remixes them. My favorite remix on here is the Warning, not the Master, the Warning remix, because that piano opening is so creepy and awesome and fucking cool. Like, that alone made it my favorite, but then the rest of it, the way the beat is done and everything, just makes it a fucking phenomenal remix. This feels like an extension of that universe, but like the inner goings within that universe and like the positive side. Like, the negative side is the album, and this is everything else. This is like inside the towns. Like, it starts off Gunshots by Computer being this like call out from Year Zero to this album, which is the rest of the universe of like the positive side, like government parties and shit like that. And it feels like its own essence in a way, kind of. Like, it's the same songs, but it just feels like it's torqued enough to be its own release. Like, the Survivalism remix was remixed by Saul Williams, and you hear him more on the chorus, because he is a part of that chorus on the album. And so many other things are highlighted. And you have this extremely fucking long version of Me, I'm Not, which... How do you make that song 14 minutes? How the fuck do you do that? And keep me interested in, like, a remix? Like, I can listen to prog and stuff, but, like, 14 minutes for a song that was not even half that is crazy. This goes above and beyond on all of the Nine Inch Nails remixes, and I definitely suggest you pick it up. You get a variety of content, you get Trent's work interpreted in so many different ways, and it's fucking awesome. But my favorite song, my favorite remix is the Warning remix. So yeah. And the next thing he released was this set of instrumentals called Ghosts 1 through 4, and this is a really interesting release, not just because it's all instrumentals and it was interesting for me to hear this set of albums, this set of songs, but because it was a really interesting change of pace for him, because it's a lot of these just singled out musical moments that feel like they're separated from these bigger beasts, and it feels odd to listen to any of this by itself. It's very just background noise. Like, you can set this to scenes in movies and trailers and they would fit really well. These are very universal tracks. It was this huge collaborative effort, and I mean, you had not just Trent working on a lot of the music, which was different, and I think that this would be my least favorite, but every time I listen to it, I grow this bigger appreciation for every second of it, every second of every song, every noise, every hidden sound within each track. And I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I think this thing should be listened to as a whole. It shouldn't be singled out. So what I'm doing is I'm making a playlist linked in the under thingy. If you have a while, sit and listen to this collage of music as a whole, because it deserves full attention. Nothing deserves to be singled out, because it's all just one big collage of sounds and styles that should just be cherished musically, and I fucking love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to give in forms of criticism. It's hard to criticize this individually, because first off, there's not even any track titles. It's all just one big collage. I mean, it's Ghost 1-5 or Ghost 4-7. I mean, it's this really odd formation of songs. But I fucking love it. It's stellar. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's just kick-ass. I really suggest you give this a listen. Do it when you're not doing anything. Like, set it aside and indulge in this, because it's really worth your time. So yeah, that's just, I fucking love this release. And the last album he's released so far under this moniker, Nine Inch Nails, is called The Slip, which was also released back in 2008, and this album is actually available completely for free on Nine Inch Nails' website. I will leave it linked in the under thingy if you would like to get this album. I suggest it, but the thing with this album is, and this album, from what I could tell, didn't get the best amount of criticism from people, and I kind of get why, but I also don't, because this album to me feels like a mixture of everything he's done on the tail half of his career. Like, you have songs like 1 Million and Letting You, that kind of sound like With Teeth songs, and you also have songs like Echoplex and kind of Discipline that kind of sound like Year Zero songs, with the way that the beats are structured and the use of the drum machine and everything like that. And there's songs like Corona Radiata, which is these just long, strung out pieces that feel rooted to that sound, and it's very interesting. It feels like one complete beast, but it's like a deformed, mutilated creature. You get this really interesting ride. It's more like a shot out of a cannon, like the whole album, kind of like how I compared The Color and the Shape, but a cannon into space, because once you're dying out, you're just kind of floating into nothingness, and it's awesome. It's fucking beautiful. It's this crazy set of just dark, beautiful songs, and I love the variety of intensity mixed with surreal. And this thing truly is just a weird wave goodbye. Like, Trent never disbanded Nine Inch Nails. He's still doing music under that moniker occasionally, but he's doing other things. He's not this quite pissed off person anymore, and you kind of get that by the end of the album. And I used to be on the fence with this album, but the more I get, like the Ghosts, the more I listen to it, the more I find so much appreciation for it. And I think that if it was set aside, if this album was released at any other point in the career, the major career of Nine Inch Nails, it would be frowned upon and called this just really bad album. And some fans still don't like this album, and I don't really get why. I mean, it really feels like this last letter again to the world kind of like hurt. This whole album kind of feels like that. It's just this well-composed, well-written, well-structured set of songs, and I fucking love it. My favorite song on the album is 1 Million, but I will have a link to that song and the album in the under thingy. This has been my Nine Inch Nails discography review. It was actually requested by both What Up Dude 96 and KLM Stars. I forgot to say that in the beginning, but I fucking love this. I fucking love this group. I love Trent as a musician. I think that he is this icon for a reason. He was put up on this place for a reason, and he just does a fantastic job of being that source of people's aggression, and I fucking love it. I listen to Nine Inch Nails because I enjoy the music, and I enjoy, you know, Trent's anger. I love to share anger with Trent, and I love this group, and I hope you enjoy this review. My next review, as I mentioned in the video of my list, is Skin Dread, so be staying tuned for that. But you guys have good days, life situations. I will see you another day. Yeah, Nine Inch Nails reviewed.